Exchange. Bill of exchange. A bill of exchange, a short-term negotiable instrument, is a signed, unconditional, written order binding one party to pay a XED sum of money to another party on demand or at a predetermined date. A bill of exchange is sometimes called draft or draft, but draft usually applies to domestic transactions only. The term bill of exchange may also be applied broadly to other instruments of foreign exchange. For example, a check is a type of bill of exchange. Last updated in February of 2022 by the WEX Denitions team. WEX. Commerce. Commercial activities. Accounting. Banking. Financial services. Business law. Business sectors. Commercial transactions. Money and financial problems _ WEX Denitions. LI greater than Uniform Commercial Code. Greater than UCC Article 3 Negotiable Instruments 2002. UCC Article 3 Negotiable Instruments 2002. Part 1. General Provisions and Definitions. 83 to 101. Short Title. 83 to 102. Subject Matter. 83 to 103. Definitions. 83 to 104. Negotiable Instrument. Section 3 to 105. Issue of Instrument. 83 to 106. Unconditional Promise or Order. Section 3 to 107. Instrument payable in foreign money. S3 108. Payable on demand or at definite time. Section 3 to 109. Payable to bearer or to order. Section 3 to 110. Identification of person to whom instrument is payable. Section 3 to 111. Place of payment. Section 3 to 112. Interest. Section 3 to 113. Date of instrument. 83 to 114. Contradictory terms of instrument. S3 115. Incomplete instrument. 83 to 116. Joint and several liability, contribution. Section 3 to 117. Other agreements affecting instrument. 83 to 118. Statute of limitations. 83 to 119. Notice of right to defend action. Part 2. Negotiation, transfer, and endorsement. 83 to 201. Negotiation. 83 to 202. Negotiation subject to rescission. 83203. Transfer of instrument, rights acquired by transfer. 83 to 204. Endorsement. Section 3 to 205. Special endorsement, blank endorsement. Endorsement. Section 3 to 206. Restrictive endorsement. Section 3 to 207. Reacquisition. Part 3. Enforcement of instruments. Section 3 to 301. Person entitled to enforce instrument. Section 3 to 302. Holder in due course. Section 3 to 303. Value and consideration. Section 3 to 304. Overdue instrument. 83 to 305. Defenses and claims in recoupment. 83 to 306. Claims to an instrument. S3 307. Notice of breach of fiduciary duty. 3 to 308. Proof of signatures and status as holder in due course. 83 to 309. Enforcement of lost, destroyed, or stolen instrument. 83 to 310. Effect of instrument on obligation for which taken. Section 3 to 311. Accord and satisfaction by use of instrument. Section 3 to 312. Lost, destroyed, or stolen cashier's check, teller's check, or certified check. Part 4. Liability of parties. Section 3 to 401. Signature. Section 3 to 402. Signature by representative. 83 to 403. Unauthorized signature. Section 3 to 404. Imposters, fictitious payees. Section 3 to 405. Employer's responsibility for fraudulent endorsement by employee. 83406. Negligence contributing to forged signature or alteration of instrument. S3 407. Alteration. Section 3 to 408. DRAWEE not liable on unaccepted draft. Section 3 to 409. Acceptance of draft, certified check. 83 to 410. Acceptance varying draft. Anomalous. Section 3 to 411. Refusal to pay cashier's checks, teller's checks, and certified checks. Section 3 to 412. Obligation of issuer of note or cashier's check. Section 3 to 413. Obligation of acceptor. 83 to 414. Obligation of drawer. 83415. Obligation of INDORSER. Section 3 to 416. Transfer warranties. Section 3 to 417. Presentment warranties. And 3 to 418. Payment or acceptance by mistake. Section 3 to 419. Instruments signed for 3 to 420. Conversion. Accommodation. Instrument. Part 5. Dishonor. S3 to 501 _ presentment. S3 502 _ dishonor. 3 to 503. Notice of dishonor. 83504. Excused presentment and notice of dishonor. Section 3 to 505. Evidence of dishonor. Part 6. Discharge and payment. 83 to 601. Discharge and effective discharge. 3 to 602. Payment. Section 3 to 603. Tender of payment. Section 3 to 604. Discharge by cancellation or renunciation. Section 3 to 605. Discharge of endorsers and accommodation parties. Part 1. General provisions and definitions. Of. Part 2. Negotiation, transfer, and endorsement. Part 3. Enforcement of instruments. Part 4. Liability of parties. Part 5. Dishonor. Part 6. Discharge and payment. Less than. Part 5. Default. Part 1. General provisions and definitions greater than. LI greater than Electronic Code of Federal Regulations, ECFR, greater than Title 12 Banks and Banking. Electronic Code of Federal Regulations, ECFR, Title 12 Banks and Banking. CFR. Chapter Controller of the Currency, Department of the Treasury, Parts 1, 193, 199. Chapter I Federal Reserve System, Subchapters A, C. Chapter I Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, Subchapters A, B. Chapter IV Export-Import Bank of the United States, Parts 400, 415, 499. Chapter V Reserved. Chapter V Farm Credit Administration, Subchapters A, B. Chapter V National Credit Union Administration, Subchapters A, B. Chapter 7 Federal Financing Bank, Parts 800, 809, 812, 899. Chapter X Reserved. Chapter X Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Parts 1000, 1092, 1099. Chapter 11 Federal Financial Institutions Examination Council, Parts 100, 1103, 1199. Chapter 11 Federal Housing Finance Agency, Subchapters A, E. Chapter 12 Financial Stability Oversight Council, Parts 1300, 1321, 1399. Chapter IV Farm Credit System Insurance Corporation, Parts 1400, 1413, 1499. Chapter 15 Department of the Treasury, Subchapters A, B. Chapter 15 Office of Financial Research, Department of the Treasury, Parts 1600, 1611, 1699. Chapter 16 Office of Federal Housing Enterprise Oversight, Department of Housing and Urban Development, Subchapters A, C. Chapter 17 Community Development Financial Institutions Fund, Department of the Treasury, Parts 1800, 1804, 1816, 1899. LI greater than U.S. Code greater than Title 12 greater than Chapter 3 greater than Subchapter X. Quick search by citation. Title. Enter title. Section. Section. Go. Greater than 8,361. 12 U.S. Code and 361 Bills Receivable, Bills of Exchange, Acceptances, Regulations by Board of Governors. U.S. Code Notes. The discount and rediscount and the purchase and sale by any Federal Reserve Bank of any bills receivable and of domestic and foreign bills of exchange, and of acceptances authorized by this chapter, shall be subject to such restrictions, limitations, and regulations as may be said by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. December 23, 1913, ch. 6, S13 par. 38 stat. 264, September 7, 1916, ch. 461, 39 stat. 753, August 23, 1935, ch. 614, 8203, a 49 stat. 704. Bills of Exchange. Act of Mar. 30, 1821, pl. 156, number 94 cl. 12 an Act concerning bills of exchange. Section 1. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in General Assembly met, and it is hereby enacted by the authority of the same, that whenever any bill of exchange hereafter to be drawn or endorsed within this Commonwealth, upon any person or persons body corporate, of, or in any other state, territory or place, shall be returned unpaid with a legal protest, the persons to whom the same shall or may be payable, shall be entitled to recover and receive of and from the drawer or drawers, or the endorser or endorsers of such bill of exchange, the damages hereinafter specified over and above the principal sum for which such bill of exchange shall have been drawn, and the charges of protest together with lawful interest on the amount of such principal sum, damages and charges of protest, from the time at which notice of such protest shall have been given, and the pawment of said principal sum and damages, and charges of protest demanded, that is to say, if such bill shall have been drawn upon any person or persons, or body corporate, of, or in any of the United States or territories thereof, excepting the state of Louisiana, 5%, upon such principal sum, if upon any person or persons, or body corporation of, or in Louisiana, or of, or in any other place in North America or the islands thereof, excepting the northwest coast of America and Mexico, or of, or in any of the West India or Bahama Islands, 10%, upon such principal sum, if upon any person or persons, or body corporate, of, or in the island of Madeira, the Canaries, the Azores, the Cape de Sum. 1 repealed in part May 13, 1850, PL 746, number 430, section 2. Damages on protested bills of exchange to be in lieu of interest, etc. Or Verde Islands, the Spanish Main or Mexico, 15% upon such principal sum, if upon any person or persons are or body corporate, of, or in any state or place in Europe, or any of the islands thereof, 20%, upon such principal sum, if upon any person or persons, or body corporate, of, or any other part of the world, 25%, upon such principal. Or state or the damages which by this act are to be recovered upon any bill of exchange, shall be in lieu of interest and all other charges, except the charges of protest, to the time when notice of the protest and demand of payment shall have been given and made as aforesaid, and the amount of such bill, and of the damages payable thereon, as specified in this act, shall be ascertained and determined by the rate of exchange, or value of the money or currency mentioned in such bill at the time of notice of protest and demand of payment as before mentioned. 1821, March 30, PL 156, 7 SM. L. 435, Sec. 2. Section 3, and be it further enacted by the authority aforesaid, that the Act passed in the year of our Lord 1700, entitled, An Act Concerning Bills of Exchange, be, and the same is hereby repealed. United Nations Convention on International Bills of Exchange and International Promissory Notes. United Nations. New York, 1988. United Nations Convention on International Bills of Exchange and International Promissory Notes. CHAPTBRI. Sphere of Application and RORM of the Instrument. Article L. L. This convention applies to an international bill of exchange when it contains the heading, International Bill of Exchange UNCITRAL Convention, and also contains in its text the words, International Bill of Exchange UNCITRAL Convention. 2. This convention applies to an international promissory note when it contains the heading International Promissory Note UNCITRAL Convention, and also contains in its text the words, International Promissory Note UNCITRAL Convention. 3. This convention does not apply to checks. Article 2. 1. An international bill of exchange is a bill of exchange which specifies at least two of the following places and indicates that any two so specified are situated in different states. At the place where the bill is drawn. B. The place indicated next to the signature of the drawer. C. The place indicated next to the name of the ROEs, at the place indicated next to the name of the payee, E. The place of payment. Provided that either the place where the bill is drawn less than discharge AMT greater than CLO less than mail street greater than less than true name greater than secured party drawer less than mail city street zip greater than bonded bill of exchange order bill of acceptance time draft hash less than bo num greater than less than discharge AMT text greater than not a security, not for discharge of public debt. 2. Secretary of the Treasury, Department of the Treasury Bank, ABA ledger number 000000518. No later than 15 days after receipt, please credit the account for less than account name greater than T less than creditor name greater than. Personal Treasury UCC contract trust account hash less than UCC contract num greater than. Bond hash less than bond num greater than. Dollar less than discharge AMNT greater than. The obligation of the DROE acceptor, Secretary of the Treasury, through the bailee authorized agent of claimant's financial institution, TTL Department, hereof arises out of the want of consideration for the pledge and by the redemption of the pledge under Public Resolution HJR 192, Public Law 73-10 and Guarantee Trust Company of NYV. Henwood et al., 307 U.S. 247 FN3 represented by the attached claim accepted for value and bearing the account number hash less than creditor ACCT num greater than. Date. Less than current date greater than. This claim document order complies with UCC 3-104, the terms of the original contract, hereby surrendered as said pledge is redeemed discharged by the drawer through the attached document by acceptance for value and exempted from levy. Federal regulations require claimant's financial institution to accept this bill, sign and present directly via certified or registered mail, return receipt to the Secretary of the Treasury Department of the Treasury on drawer's UCC contract trust account. Unless the original negotiable instrument is dishonored in writing within 15 days of receipt by the Secretary of the Treasury, claimant's financial institution is to release the credit on hold to the payee claimant within the time stipulated by Regulation Z, Truth in Lending Act, or on the date designated, whichever is later. The amount of this accepted draft is to be ledgered by claimant's financial institution, TTL Department, to the designated account for the discharge of this claim, Regulation Z. These are certified funds. Bailee, S. Signature, Authorized Bank TTL Agent, with O prejudice. Accepted at document copies filed with the DTB. Less than discharge AMT greater than. Notice. The law relating to principal and agent applies. City. State, on. Date. Drawer, secured party creditor, without recourse to be processed as a check, do not present for collection. Less than discharge AMT greater than bonded negotiable instrument, void where prohibited by law. Less than discharge AMT greater than. Important bank and treasury routing instructions requires special handling not to be presented for collection, process a check. Promptly mail via certified mail, return receipt, the signed instrument with these documents to Mr. John W. Snow, or his successor, the Secretary of the Treasury, Department of the Treasury, 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20220. Less than creditor name greater than. Letter of advice. Less than creditor street greater than. Less than creditor city street zip greater than. Notice processing of bill of exchange BA time draft. Less than true name greater than, secured party creditor less than mail street greater than. Less than mail city street zip greater than. Date, less than current date greater than. I am in receipt of the attached offer requesting payment. Please find attached the bill of exchange BATD, the processing of which will discharge the entire current amount stated on the claim herein accepted for value. This attached negotiable instrument is presented under authority of HJR 192, Public Law 73-10, UCC 3-104 C. Spencer v. Sterling Bank, 63 Cal App. 4H 1055 1998, Guarantee Trust Company of New York v. Henwood et al., 307 U.S. 247 FN3, and Witkin Negotiable Instruments, Volume 2, including 2002 supplement, on the undersigned's UCC contract trust account. following are the steps required by regulation to settle this account. This is not a Treasury security, nor involving a Treasury direct bond account, nor is this instrument to be processed through the Bureau of Public Debt, nor is this instrument to be applied toward the national debt. These are certified funds. 1. The attached negotiable instrument is in accordance with UCC 3-104 and complies with the terms of the original contract. The following process must be followed to the letter in order to satisfy the claimed amount due on this account and discharge of this debt. 2. My personal UCC contract trust account has been established with the Department of the Tre and may with my approval through the bank account of the claimant directe to the Siretami of Hitai DC Sesu 3. The original negotiable instrument is certified and must be presented by claimant's financial institution, TTL department, via certified or registered mail, return receipt, directly to Mr. John W. Snow, the Secretary of the Treasury, or his successor, Department of the Treasury, 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20220. Treasury. 4. The item processor at claimant's financial institution, with full identification and Bailey authorized TTL agent signature, is to present the original negotiable instrument along with this instruction notice and the stamped claim to the Secretary of the Treasury Department of the Treasury at the above address. 5. Claimant's financial institution is to put a hold on claimant's deposit, retain the document copies and await the return receipt card from the federal window, noting the date the original negotiable instrument was received at the federal window in accordance with public and banking policy. For out-of-state transactions, the UCC and banking regulations stipulate 15 days. 6. The copy of the negotiable instrument is to be held at the financial institution until the required period for the federal window, Regulation J and Federal Reserve, Reg Z Truth in Lending, 12 U.S.C. 226.1 ed. Seg. The ordered property has passed. On the 16H day, the full face amount of the negotiable instrument is to be released by the local financial institution's TTL department and credit the claimant's account for discharge of the claim. 7. To ensure that claimant's financial institution receives full credit to their TTL account, claimant's financial institution is to take the retained copies of this letter of advice, the copy of the original claim accepted for value, the copy of the original bill of exchange and enclose these documents with the institution's next remittance of estimated taxes to the Internal Revenue Service. Before enclosing these documents with the remittance, the institution's Bailey authorized TTL agent must endorse the copy of the original bill of exchange on the top reverse side of the instrument. 8. If the Secretary of the Treasury sends notice in writing of some error or problem, please notify the undersigned immediately upon receipt of such notice and the matter will be addressed. You will be notified of the corrective action taken. I hereby request that you notify the undersigned when the required time period for the Federal Window and the Federal Reserve under Regulation J and Z have transpired, the ledgering completed and the account adjusted by claimant's bank. Thank you for your cooperation in getting this account settled and the claim discharged. Not subject to negotiability. Less than true NANME greater than secured party creditor. Less than creditor name greater than less than creditor street greater than. Less than creditor city street zip greater than. Account hash less than creditor ACCT num greater than. Balance of charges on less than invoice num greater than. Statement of account. Discharge through bonded bill of exchange order. Ending balance of charges. Less than straw man greater than C less than mail street less than mail city street zip greater than. Dollar less than discharge AMT greater than. Less than discharge AMT greater than. By. Less than straw man greater than O. 0.00. The balance shown above reflects my good faith statement of account for the account indicated above. The account representative or his designee may correct or approve the statement. If you determine the balance is different than is shown above, your documented correction must be returned to me within 2 weeks, no later than less than date 14 days current or mail date greater than. Pursuant to less than your state statute that corresponds to UCC 9-210 greater than and UCC 9-210, failure to correct and return this statement of account with supporting documentation of indebtedness within 2 weeks constitutes your agreement with this accounting, after which you and your agents, assigns and successors may only make a claim up to the amount this statement shows as a balance. Less than current date greater than. Less than true name greater than, secured party. On. The papers identified as. Less than creditor name greater than. less than creditor street greater than less than redditor city street zip greater than 1. Bonded bill of exchange hash less than bonum greater than 2. Letter of advice. Dated. Certificate of service. 3. Invoice less than invoice num greater than 4. Statement of account. My mailing location is 5. Copy of certificate of service. By mailing them in a postage prepaid envelope, addressed to the recipient named above, bearing certified mail hash less than bonum greater than for less than true name greater than, and obtaining a receipt from the post office clerk. Less than friend name greater than. Less than friend street greater than. On behalf of less than true name greater than, I mailed to. Less than friend city street zip greater than. I am over the age of 18 and not a party to the transaction regarding the papers I mailed. Printed name. Signature. Less than creditor name greater than less than creditor street greater than less than creditor city st2 ip greater than. Account hash less than creditor acct num greater than. To error resolution officer. Less than strawman greater than copyright less than mail street greater than. Less than mail city street zip greater than. Sent via certified mail hash less than enter certified mail number here greater than. Notice of error. 2. And. Request for investigation. On less than date bo mailed greater than, a bonded bill of exchange hereinafter, draft was sent to you via certified hash less than bo num greater than, see attachment 1. This draft was in an amount sufficient to pay the full balance of my account. This payment was received in your office on less than date bo received greater than. On less than date second invoice received greater than, I received another invoice that did not include credit for the instrument mailed on less than bo num greater than. The latest statement includes a late fee and an additional finance charge. Since the draft should have settled the account in full and you received the hold B payment before the due date of less than due date one's invoice greater than, there is no late fee or additional finance charges. This is my written notice of error under the Truth in Lending 12 CFR 226.13. I am requesting clarification on the following issues. 1. Why was the payment of S less than discharge AMT greater than not posted to my account? 2. Why was a late fee of $ less than late fee amount greater than charged when the last payment arrived by the due date? 3. Why was additional interest of $ less than interest amount greater than charged when the last payment would have settled the account in full? As I understand the regulations 12 CFR 226.13 d, I have the following rights. ENC, Certificate of Service. Date, current date greater than. The statute gives the consumer the right to withhold a disputed amount and collection action is prohibited until the matter is resolved. To this point, the entire amount of the most recent invoice is being disputed. S less than amount of 2D invoice greater than. Your credit card company is prohibited from issuing an adverse credit report to the credit reporting agencies while this matter is in dispute. It is my understanding that your company has 30 days from the day you receive this notice to provide me with written response. If you discover that an error has occurred, I will accept a statement that corrects the errors listed above as your response. If you determine that no billing error occurred, I shall expect a written explanation why you reached such a conclusion. It always has been my intent to resolve this matter and to settle my account in full. I look forward to receiving the results of your investigation in a timely manner. Less than strawman greater than copyright. By. Less than true name greater than, secured party. Individually, less than true name greater than, reserve all rights regarding common law copyright of their respective trade names trademarks, less than strawman greater than O as well as any and all derivatives and or orthographic variations of said trade names trademarks, not excluding true name greater than. Said notice of copyright is filed and recorded with orthographic variation of said trade name trademark, may neither be displayed, nor otherwise used in any manner, nor any use whatsoever of the common law copyrights described therein, without the prior, express written consent and acknowledgement of secured party, less than true name greater than respectively, as signified by secured party's original signature. 2. Secured party neither grants, nor implies, nor otherwise gives consent for any unauthorized use of less than strawman greater than O, and all such unauthorized use is strictly prohibited.